as I mentioned before, Lu Ning, a very dedicated professional based at Dingjunwei's Snooker Academy in Sheffield. Puts in many hours, as many of these young Chinese players do.
Of course, given his status within the game, the fact he's won ranking titles before, given his ranking, and one has to say, the way he's played, he would make Luca Brecel favourite. There's a big difference between a favourite and a certainty.
Yeah, and I just wonder if Luca will feel as if the last match was almost his final. He knew he had to win that game 3-0, so he's effectively felt as if he's almost played a best of 5 already.
Yeah, and that's a point we must make. This is not a league situation now. It is mano a mano. A race to 3, best of 5, not 4.
It was interesting being backstage as well, Phil. I was in the players' lounge and all of the Chinese players were sort of gathered around the TV. I know Luca's dad here, and he was sort of wandering around downstairs, but I tell you, all of the Chinese players were jumping around at every shot that was played. Willing Zhao Xingtong on to win that match.
1.
Well, if that's a sign of things to come, we're in for a treat. How about this for a cheeky double?
Yeah, lots of value in the shot.
8.
Never really going to leave anything. Always going to be on the black.
9.
If Luca will take the opportunity here, being low on the black, to disturb a few reds. Quite get into that. He wanted a little bit more sort of secondary spin. They kind of
60.
Open as well as he'd have liked. Just finished quite awkwardly there. Going for this red. Hampered queuing. Guarantee where his cue ball's going to finish up.
Luca Brecel, 16.
I'm not sure if that was a risk worth taking there. You know, see where the cue ball has ended up there. He didn't have an easy colour to follow. As a result of missing that red, he's given Lu Ning a lovely opportunity to settle himself down and hopefully build a nice break.
One
of the keys to Lu Ning's success in this tournament, not just today, but all of the 3 days he's been involved in all of the groups, when he's been given chances, he's been very reliable. Has good concentration.
He has kind of a very relaxed approach to the table. He kind of
6.
almost plods around the table and just has a very chilled out vibe about the way he plays the game. As I mentioned before, puts
7.
lots and lots of hours practicing. That's why his concentration will be so strong. Played that one the best though. He wanted a little bit more out of the cue ball. Play a little bit of a tricky pink into the yellow pocket, or quite a thin black. very nicely. Hit that with any pace at all, gave the pocket a chance.
13.
One other thing to think about in this match is Luca Brecel has played on this table all day today. Lu Ning has been on table 2. And the lighting is slightly different. You always feel table 1 plays just that little bit quicker. Always seems to play that little bit better than
Thank you.
the outside
14.
tables. So it's a good opportunity just to settle into the different conditions.
Twenty-one. 22.
World number
29.
34 to start the season, Lu Ning. He wins this match and wins the tournament, of course. He'd be up to 26th. That would be a personal best. Yet one
30.
more incentive.
Yeah, and who knows, obviously taking this momentum into the rest of the season, you know, going up to number 26. Maybe looking at pushing for a top 16 place come the World Championships.
$36. 37.
What he's been doing so efficiently, and I think that's the correct word, efficiently. All tournament, when players have made mistakes against him, he's been going to the table without doing anything outlandish, taking big scores, punishing.
Yeah, you just feel the way he approaches the game. He's not going to play any
44.
silly shots. Feel his concentration is very strong. He's going to give each shot all due care and attention. You know, even there, he's analysing how he's going to go about his business. He's not rushing into it. Wants to make this visit to the table count.
$45.
With that red being very close to the pink spot, I think he was just looking to see where the pink will go once it's potted. Will it be above the red or underneath? And by the way he's played that shot,
Give me a minute, please.
I think it should go underneath the red, so he should be on the red to the left.
John Bellew, the referee. Big occasion, big deal for him. Refereeing a world ranking final.
Yeah, John's been reffing for some time now. He's a real character, loves the game.
51.
I believe he reffed for many years in the Welsh amateur scene. So yeah, good to see him reffing this final.
52.
Without doubt the best accent on the tour.
I'll disagree.
$59.
Yeah, starting to run out of loose reds now. He's played that black. This red must go to the right centre pocket.
$60.
That was the reason for the hesitation. He was concerned he wasn't going to kiss the pink full enough, and he didn't. He skimmed off it.
Black ball.
Now this black easily go astray. Well, no kiss on the reds. It's been a good effort, but it's not going to be frame-winning one in a single visit.
67.
I'm not sure if that was the wrong shot there, Phil. There was a lot of risk involved with playing the black the way he did. He played that with a lot of right-hand side to check up the cue ball to try and flick the reds into play. Playing those shots with side, that's easily missable. I'm not sure with the 40-point lead, maybe putting a colour safe would have been the order of the day. As you see there, he has left Luca an opportunity here now, and okay, the reds are not ideal, but all the colours are out in the open. Yeah, and straight away taking the opportunity to develop an awkward red. That was always a natural angle. Playing that sort of a slow drag shot with lots of right hand side on the cue ball. Was always going to be on black or pink, playing it that way.
He engaged in escapology in the final frame of his decisive match in the group. And he engaged in escapology in the first frame of the overall final.
$9.
He's not played that one very well. Ideally wanted to be on the blue. To settle for the yellow, he's going to have to get into the cue ball here. Struck that very nicely. It's a lovely shot there from Luca. The only problem with taking the yellow is he's going to have to stay down this end of the table, stick to the high value colours, being 40 behind.
$12.
Yeah, that wasn't the poor shot. It was the shot before. He just overcooked the red, which left him
18.
high on the pink. He wanted to be dead straight on the pink just to screw straight back for the red into the opposite corner pocket, but gave himself a little bit to do, and that last positional shot has obviously gone wrong.
Luca Brecel, 18.
And that was very well played from Luca there, using the bulk colours to snooker Lu there. So common on that shot to catch the red thick. Played it very nicely. We'll be looking to play this shot of 2 cushions with right hand side. Trying to catch the red. Sort of half ball, try and get it onto the black cushion.
Foul and a miss for Luca Brecel. Okay, Luca, thank you.
The snooker iron has yielded the desired result, and with the 4 penalty points given away with his first failed attempt, now it doesn't matter what colour Brecel pots off the last red, anything will do.
Yeah, he just caught the wrong side of the red there.
Right.
He was trying to, as I say, catch it half ball on the other side and send the red towards the black cushion. And as you mentioned there, Phil, Luca taking the lowest available colour, because that will now leave him 26 behind with 27 on. This feels like a huge frame already, not only with it being a best of 5, but you know, Lu Ning should have had this wrapped up really. I go back to the black that he played when he just ran out of position. I'm not sure if that was the shot. You know, by putting a bulk colour safe, it would have made the counter attack quite tricky for Luca, but the colours remained on the spots, and it's looking like Luca's going to take this first frame now.
12. $17.
What a setback this would be for Lu Ning. What an immeasurable
23.
boost for Luca Brecel. On the black
the first frame,
by a
Luca Brecel.
single point. That was the best possible way for Brecel to get this final underway. He now has a massive psychological edge. Lu Ning made a 67 break. It wasn't sufficient. First blood goes to Brecel.
The Pacific champion of champions.
He looked like he had it won. He looked like he lost it.
You can't say that's the killer blow. Well, you can say it was a hammer blow.
Two devastating breaks. He's on the brink.
101 for O'Sullivan. He's got a frame on the board. He looked mighty good in doing it.
What a way to open your account for the season. I get the feeling it will not be his last trophy this campaign.
Luca Brecel has been fighting so hard in this tournament, especially today. Time will tell, but the way he won the first frame of the final
Lu Ning
in
to
this
break.
race to 3, that must have rocked the man breaking off in the second frame, Lu Ning. If Lu Ning can recover and win this final, he will be in the Champion of Champions. And we, of course, had a competition earlier today, giving away 2 tickets to the final of that superb event at the University of Bolton Stadium up in Lancashire in early November. I'm now going to reveal the answer to the question and our, not lucky winner, our knowledgeable winner. The question was, who made the highest break in last year's Champion of Champions? Well, it was 140 from Yan Bingtao. We had many entries, and the winner was, drum roll, Jake Blackburn from Leeds. So well done to Jake. You're coming to the final of the Champion of Champions. Right now, Corin, you just settled for being in the first round.
Yeah, we were just having a conversation off air about it. It's going to be quite competitive, isn't it? The last few events to try and get into that competition. Just shows you sort of what an incredible season it was last year. There were lots of different winners. Over the last few seasons, you've had lots of people winning multiple events. It's just showing you the strength in depth on the tour nowadays.
Almost forgotten behind the partition over on table 2, that match potentially for second place in the group. I tell you quickly, Ricky Walden leads Stuart Bingham 1-0. All eyes, though, quite rightly, are on this.
Yeah, that's a really nice safety shot there from Lu Ning. Cutting off the right side of the table with the yellow. There's quite a lot of traffic on the left-hand side. Not easy to get back to baulk here for Luca. Yeah, that was about as good as Luca could have done. He knew he was opening the reds up with that shot. Had to play that with a lot of right hand side to create the angle and avoid the two reds on the left. Has left a possible pot here for Lu Ning, but the white will be travelling into the red on the cushion, so we won't have a great idea of what's going to happen to the cue ball. Be hoping to land on the black somehow.
One.
He ended up catching the red quite thin, which sent the cue ball back up into baulk, and he's nicely on the green now, so it's a very good opportunity already to make amends for the first frame.
Four.
The reds are spread lovely and the black goes to both corner pockets. I think in taking this red that he's eyeing up, it will free up the pink into the right corner pocket. Opting for the red over the middle.
Five.
He just doesn't want this cue ball travelling around too much.
Seven.
Quite fortunate to find that gap on to the red over the left corner pocket. Just over hit that yellow.
Eight.
This is where he wants to be, at the business end of the table. As you see there, the bottom red of the three goes into the left corner pocket.
15.
That will free up the other two into the right corner pocket. He's quite aware that it's a great opportunity now to level up at 1-1.
$16.
Trying to become only the 6th player from China to win a world ranking event. Yan Bingtao, Fan Zhengyi, Yang Wenbo, Zhao Xintong,
23.
and of course Ding Junhui, who's won 14 Ding. They're the first 5 on the
24.
list. Will Lu Ning be number 6?
Yeah, I think you tend to forget how many ranking titles Ding Junhui has actually won, and that's without even counting the Masters that he's won. So the only thing that is missing from Ding's CV is the World Championship, but you know, I do believe personally that
31.
this is probably a good thing for him, seeing all these young Chinese players coming through. It's going to make him hungry. He'll want to take back that top spot of being the #1 Chinese player. It was good to see him have a pretty strong campaign last year. He seemed at times to be getting back to his best. And I'm sure he'll be cheering on Lu Ning now. He is based at Ding Junhui's academy in Sheffield.
32.
Just didn't quite get
39.
through the cue ball on that one. Playing for the two reds into the same pocket. I'll have to make do with possibly the red to the middle. Again, as I mentioned in previous match, it's important to not land low on the blue. I think he's actually playing up for a bulk colour.
40.
So often you see when the balls are spread so nicely and it feels like they're easy pickings, a player loses their concentration and before you know it they're having to play recovery shots. It's important to kind of try and keep the same discipline on every shot and, you know, not take anything for
43.
granted.
.44. .51.
Again, he's landed slightly short on these two reds, so going to have to play up the table, the blue or bulk colour again.
.52.
I'll use that word again. When he gets in amongst the balls, he's so reliable and he plays at such a methodical pace that if you make a mistake and leave Lu in, you know you're going to be sitting in that chair for quite some time.
Yeah, I've noticed at times Lu can play
57.
30 odd seconds a shot. Personally, I don't think it helps his game. I've played him many times in practice and when he tends to get on with it, he does score much heavier.
58.
But as you mentioned there, Phil, you feel that he's never really going to make that many mistakes.
Made a slight one there. He wanted to stun the cue ball past that red without making any contact with it.
65.
Now he's thinking, please don't let history repeat itself. First frame, remember, made a 67 break. It wasn't enough. This time, made 65. Coming up frame ball.
He's reluctant to play the easier pot just purely because of what happened in the first frame. He doesn't want another counter attack.
66.
There was a little bit more safety involved with that shot. It was a tougher pot, but with Luca being 65 behind, he would have needed high value colours, and with that white glued to the bottom rail, it would have been very difficult to get back down for the black. But the red has disappeared, so he's taken these very well to level up at one each.
73.
This is a good break in any context after losing the previous frame in those circumstances. Terrific riposte.
Lu Ning, 73. Frame conceded, second
Luca
frame,
Brecel
Lu Ning.
remains in his chair. The final is all square. Luca Brecel and Lu Ning are tied at 1 frame each. This is the forgotten match over on table 2, playing for consolation. Stuart Bingham and Ricky Walden. It is 1-0 at the moment to Walden. Bingham perhaps edging towards parity at 1 frame each. But they wouldn't mind at all me saying this. It really is after the Lord Mayor show. The show everyone wants to see is on the other table, who will capture the title. Still though, for these two, valuable ranking points and prize money on offer, worth giving their all. Got to be a unique situation, Karen. A final going on in a ranking event and another match in the tournament taking place at the same time.
Yeah, that's the Championship League for you. Yeah, as you mentioned there, you never know. You know, you get to the Grand Prix cut-off or the Players' Championship cut-off, and if you're £1,000 short, you'll be kicking yourself that you didn't give this your all.
And Walden and Bingham are so consummate professionals, this was never going to be a bash-up.
Luca Brecel to break.
Don't think Lu Ning's got any option here other than to open up the reds. It's not something you really want to be doing in a best of 5 match, but it looks like he has no alternative.
That was a mistake. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, caught the safety shot far too thin there. Trying to find the path around the back of those two reds. It's a very, very thin cut to the middle pocket that Luca's lining up here. Yeah, played that
Well,
very nicely. He'll be looking to quickly get the black back onto its own spot, so more than likely play down for one of these reds to get onto the black. I think he's on the one to the left corner pocket
6.
with a nice gap leading to the black. Also looking to possibly play onto the pink into the middle pocket.
Seven.
It just makes life so much easier when the black's in play and on its own spot and goes into both corner pockets. Luca is obviously a very fluent break builder. This is where he is normally at his best.
Hard to read that
14.
look on his face as he walked around the table. I think he's just okay. But he was certainly, for a second or two, concerned.
Yeah, I've cursed a few players today. I was just wondering if I'd managed to do it again there.
I have no
15.
guilt, Karen. I've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, Luca here has this red available, but after this it's looking like he's going to have to play
20.
some sort of cannon. All the reds seem to be in the way of each other. Like to leave an angle on the black here. That's why he tried to
21.
play off two cushions. He's landed a little bit lower than he would have liked, but he always had in his mind that he'd like to play the cannon to the red just to the left of the black. Yeah, nicely played, holding for the red in the opposite corner pocket.
28.
And a small matter of knocking another red. Very awkward. Which might give him insurance down the line.
29.
You never know.
Yeah, and not holding back there, going into the cluster of four. He didn't need to play that
36.
shot. There was a loose red just above them.
$37.
I think the bottom red of the three directly above the black goes to the left corner pocket, as you can see there. It's the one he's chosen to play on. Didn't quite get through the cue ball
44.
there. He's going to have to go up for the blue.
45.
Again, knocking another red safe, so even if Lu Ning does happen to get back to the table, it's going to be very awkward for him to counter.
50. 51.
And by taking two high-valued colours with these last
56.
two open reds, Luca won't need any of the 5 awkward reds.
57.
Just under hit that. Didn't want to be high on this black. Might just be able to punch it off one cushion. Had a little bit more angle than I thought. And the red clearly goes to the right corner pocket, so
64.
this red and a colour will leave Lu Ning needing snookers.
$65.
Hasn't he taken these well?
Yeah, apart from that shot early on where we weren't quite sure if he was on the red after potting the black, he hasn't really looked in trouble at all. And there you see, taking no risks at all, just potting the
72.
black, accepting that, you know, a safety is probably coming up after this, and with a 72-point lead and 67 left on, it means Lu Ning needs 2 snookers.
Certainly on the
Luca Brecel.
evidence of what I've
72.
seen, we've had 2 frames in the tournament which have been won after players require multiple snookers. So the percentages are not with Lu Ning.
Yeah, it's always unlikely, but you never know.
One.
This is a must make.
Yeah, played that nicely, purposely and in low.
Sam.
And this red to play up for the black.
Eight. $15. Lu Ning, 15.
Now with the red over the pocket
Frame
and
conceded.
already requiring a
Third
couple of
frame.
snookers.
Luca
Lu
Brecel.
Ning, understandably, correctly concedes. And so Luca Brecel is back in front in the final. He leads 2-1. One more frame, and he'll be crowned the bed victor, Championship League winner. Luca Brecel from Belgium on the verge, on the threshold of glory. He needs one more frame out of the next two. He will win the Bed Victor Championship League and his third world ranking title. At the moment, Brecel is one of 12 players who've won 2 world ranking tournaments, joining the likes of world champions Graham Dott, Cliff Thorburn, Dennis Taylor. Oh, delightful. Now, what about the white?
1.
Yeah, he seems to have landed onto the brown into the middle pocket. I think anything but straight. Yeah, he had a bit of angle there, so just under hit that. Another balls roll. He's perfect
5.
on this red to the right corner. See him with a little bit of a grimace there. He's frustrated at that. They say this game's all about fractions, Phil.
You know, the annoying thing about cliches is that most of them are true. It really is.
Six.
Yeah, good recovery pot there. Controlling the cue ball nicely in between green and brown, and he's left an angle on this brown to play down for the red that he intended on the last shot. And this time with no red being in the way, there's no awkward cueing.
10.
He looks to have a nice angle to float this red in off one cushion and beyond the black. And that's where the camera angle deceives me.
Eighteen. 19.
Yeah, played that shot very nicely. Again, very important to land high on the blue. He'll be looking to land low on this red at the bottom of the cluster. And in playing it that way,
24.
he leaves himself the angle to promote a few more reds. I'm surprised he played it that way,
25.
Phil. I thought screwing the white off of the pack, he was almost guaranteed to always be on the black, but playing it with top spin, there was always the risk of sticking in there, and that's unfortunately for Luca what's happened.
And the last red rolling blocked his path to the green. So not a great amount of options here.
Ping
I'm
pong.
just thinking playing that last shot with topspin, you just trust into a little bit of luck, whereas screwing off them, you always add a little bit more control.
Luca Brecel, 25.
Will be a little bit frustrated there, will Luca? That was a potential great opportunity to go on and win this match.
Oh dear, that could be expensive. It could be the beginning of the end.
One.
You've been there, Corin, on the verge of winning big
4.
tournaments. It's now all about concentration and nerve.
5.
Yeah, it's just about sort of going through your own little processes, your own pre-shot routines, and not taking anything for granted. You know, in this game, the balls do punish you if you don't take your opportunities, so this is a great opportunity for Luca.
And the snooker geek in me, I have to say this.
12.
This could be the first ranking tournament ever where the final wasn't the last match. Because that consolation
13.
match on table 2 is locked together at 1-1, Walden and Bingham. So the trophy could well be lifted here before they finish. Well before they finish.
Yeah, absolute granite from those guys. True professionals. Still trying their hearts out, trying to win the match, and
20.
as we said before, who knows, £1,000 here or there could be the difference between getting into big events like the Grand Prix or the Players' Championship, so every
21.
credit to them.
This is the 265th match of this tournament over 21 days. Luca Brecel is now just a handful of pots away from coming out on top. 127
28.
players came. He could be the last man standing.
29.
Yeah, and if it is to be the case, every credit to Luca after losing his first match of the day to bounce back and beat Zhao Xingtong in the fashion that he did was very impressive. And it just shows you how huge that first frame was. Lu Ning looks set to win it and take a 1-0 lead, and
36.
okay, levelled up to go 1 each, but it's paid the price now.
37.
Frame ball there for Luca.
How good must he feel? What a way to start the 2022-2023 snooker season. He's there. He's on 3 world ranking titles, joining the likes of James Wattenaar, the late Paul Hunter,
45.
Marco Fu, Barry Hawkins, Ryan Day. Now, Luca Brecel.
Yeah, every credit to Luca. I know his dad's here watching him and supporting him, so I'm sure he's chuffed for his son.
53.
Also on 3 ranking titles, Ricky Walden, who is still battling away on the other table. But all the glory, quite rightly, goes to the youngster from Belgium.
60.
He's a fantastic
61.
advert for snooker. Plays the game in a really exciting manner. Goes for his shots, scores very heavily. You
67.
know, he absolutely loves playing this game.
68.
And great to see him, Phil, bounce back from, as I mentioned before, that World Championship first round exit.
Yeah, looks like a completely different player here.
73.
By my reckoning, he's up to
sorry.
9th in the provisional world rankings.
Thank you. 75.
Also, it's been a tournament crammed with century breaks. Over 100 of them. How fitting it would be to finish off with just one more.
78. 82.
Yeah, and all this with a brand new cue. I was chatting to Luca backstage and he seems very happy with it. This will only fill him with confidence for
87.
the rest of the season going forward.
'93.
The headline writes itself. Belgian
Luca
bullet
Brecel.
brilliant
Luca.
at the Bedvictor Championship League. The first frame was immense, but from 1-1, he was simply excellent. A couple of